Far away, in the middle of a thick forest, there is a small kingdom of pixie fairies. They don't care about the outside world or ever question anything, except Serena. She is one curious fairy. All fairies in this kingdom need pixie dust to fly, but they never wonder how it works. But Zarina is always inquiring about the reason. Because of her research on pixie dust, she always wastes all of it and has to walk around. Zarina works at a pixie dust depot where all the pixie dust is made. After the production, it is packed in small bags and supplied equally to all the fairies in the kingdom. The process is supervised by an experienced fairy named Gary. Every day, he gives a chance of witnessing the whole process to one of the young fairies. It's Zarina's turn today, and she is more than excited. Gary asks her to be extra careful, as one tiny mistake can ruin everything. A special blue-colored dust is used to multiply the pixie dust. It's so powerful that even a tiny drop of it can create tons of pixie dust. Zarina witnesses the whole process closely and starts asking a bunch of questions about the origin of blue dust and why there are specific measurements. She also wonders why there's only blue dust. Why not pink, red, or another fun color? Gary is really tired of her questions and calls her the most inquisitive fairy he has ever met. Instead of answering her questions, he advises Zarina to accept things as they are and stop finding all the answers. But Zarina does not hold back her thoughts and says that if they cannot find dust in other colors, they can try to make them. Maybe other colors could give them new powers. Hearing this, Gary gets angry and warns Zarina not to tamper with pixie dust because it's way too powerful. However, Zarina is not giving up so easily. After returning home, she starts her research on the pixie dust. She reads random magic books and mixes different ingredients to tamper with the pixie dust. But today, she brought a special ingredient, the blue dust. After completing her experiment, she rushes to the most rebellious fairy of the kingdom, Tinkerbell. Zarina reminds her how Tinkerbell was called crazy when she brought new magical things to the kingdom, and also when she traveled to a distant land. But in the end, everyone admired her for the great discoveries she made. Zarina wants to be like her too. She takes Tinkerbell to her house and shows her new power, to bend light. This can only be done by a light fairy, while Zarina is a dust keeper. But it's now possible because Zarina made some orange dust. She cannot just stop there and starts mixing more ingredients. She creates purple dust that gives her super speed. But why not try pink dust? Zarina believes that pink dust will have the magic of nature, which will change Gary's perspective about her. Tinkerbell asks her to calm down and be careful with this risky experiment, but Zarina is way too excited to prove herself and mixes extra blue dust in the last batch. She succeeds in creating pink dust, but Tinkerbell is afraid that it is way too powerful. Zarina isn't afraid at all and decides to show it to Gary. Before she can step out of her house, she trips her feet and drops the pink dust on the plant. It grows uncontrollably and even reaches the pixie dust depot down the hill. Zarina rushes down immediately and apologizes to everyone. She is willing to stay all night to rebuild the depot, but Gary is not ready to trust her again. He strictly warned her not to tamper with the pixie dust, but she didn't listen. She can no longer stay in this kingdom because Gary has fired her from the position of dust keeper. Zarina does not protest against this decision at all and walks back home. She packs her things, including the dust she made, and leaves the kingdom forever. A whole year passes away, but no one has heard of Zarina again. They have gotten busy in their own lives and gather in the arena to witness the annual Four Seasons Festival. Fairies from all around the world gather here to perform at this festival. Tinkerbell and her friends are also witnessing the performance with excitement. Only one fairy, named Clanky, is not present here because he has gone to grab some water. In the middle of the performance, a mysterious fairy sneaks in and grows giant flowers all around the stage. The audience assumes that it's part of the performance, so they stay calm. But Tinkerbell notices the mysterious fairy and recognizes her as Zarina. Suddenly, the giant flowers blossom and spread pink smoke all around the audience. Tinkerbell and her friends hide away while the smoke affects all the other fairies. It sends them into a deep sleep. Zarina takes this chance to steal the blue dust from the depot and runs away. Clanky finally returns and gets shocked to see everyone sleeping. He hears some noise and helps the fairies escape the box they were hiding in. Tinkerbell asks him about Zarina, and Clanky replies that he saw her flying towards the depot. They all rush to the depot and realize that all the blue dust is gone. Without it, they cannot make pixie dust, and without pixie dust, they cannot fly anymore. Tinkerbell decides to go after Zarina with her friends, while Clanky has to stay back to take care of the sleeping fairies, especially the winter fairies, who need a constant stream of snow. It's already night, but the blue dust has a unique glow that can be spotted from afar. The fairies use this advantage to locate Zarina and follow her to the sea. She gets on a boat full of pirates, and the fairies are scared of following her further. Tinkerbell encourages them because the future of their kingdom is in their hands. Zarina might be captured by the pirates, who forced her to do this all. To rescue their friend, the fairies gather courage and get near the boat. After hearing closely, they realize that Zarina is actually the pirates' captain who planned this all. Tinkerbell gets really angry and asks the fairies to help her in getting back the blue dust. They distract the pirates and steal the dust, but Zarina keeps following them. She politely asks them to give it back, but the fairies refuse immediately. Zarina gets angry and uses special rainbow dust to put all the fairies to sleep. The next morning, they wake up behind a waterfall and realize that the blue dust is taken away by Zarina. Moreover, the colors of their dresses are changed, as well as their powers. The yellow one can bend light, the purple gets super speed, pink can grow plants out of nowhere, while the orange can order around animals. Tinkerbell also gets a new power. She can control water flow. She uses this power to make a hole in the waterfall and help all the fairies escape. The animal fairy accidentally falls on a crocodile's egg, and a baby comes out of it. The fairy gets scared, but the baby crocodile loves her. It's adorable, but the fairies should focus on their mission. They need to find Zarina and get back the blue dust. The wind fairy flies to a high point and spots the pirate ship. They need to get there, but only one of them can fly that fast. Luckily, the fairies are quite smart. They use the shell of a crocodile's egg and some tree vines to build a carriage. The wind fairy drags the carriage at a high speed and takes everyone to the pirate ship. The pirates are busy celebrating their success by giving gun salutes and toasts in honor of their captain. The cabin boy, James, steps forward and recalls the time when they were stuck in the middle of the sea and had no purpose in life. Then Zarina came into their lives and promised that she would make them fly one day. The pirates were waiting for a great captain like her for years. Once she makes her ship fly, they will explore the whole world and shock everyone with their supremacy. After the celebration, Zarina gets inside her room and locks the door. The fairies must find another way inside. After a while, James opens the door to deliver food, and a few fairies succeed in getting inside the room. Zarina sieves the blue dust and puts it inside a bottle. James is looking at her with amusement and asks her how the pixie dust is produced. Zarina starts explaining the whole process while the fairies try to steal the blue dust. James is really impressed by Zarina's knowledge and feels sorry for her not getting enough recognition at her kingdom. But he will help her achieve all her dreams. The ship stops at an island where Zarina has grown another dust tree. She plans to use the blue dust to produce pixie dust and make the pirate ship fly. The fairies have to stop her before things get out of hand. Zarina puts the blue dust on the tree and creates a ton of pixie dust. The fairies are witnessing everything while hiding nearby and look for a chance to get the blue dust. Unfortunately, the garden fairy accidentally touches a tree branch and it grows uncontrollably. They get caught by the pirates and locked in a cage. The fairies try to carry the cage along with them, but the pirate catches them again and puts a weight on top of the cage. Now they must figure out a new plan. Meanwhile, Zarina decides to let James experience the magic first. She sprinkles some pixie dust on him and guides him in flying. James gets really happy and asks Zarina if they are ever going to run out of pixie dust. Zarina smiles and assures him that till they have the blue dust, they can make as much pixie dust as they want. Hearing this, James locks Zarina in a lantern and says that she is not needed anymore. He believes that fairies are gullible creatures who have no idea how cunning and evil humans can be. They all are just acting all this time so they could get their hands on the pixie dust. Now the pirates can fly around the world while the fairies will stay captured. James wears his actual uniform and tells Zarina that he is the real captain of this ship. He has even made all the blueprints for his next journey towards the famous sea under the second star. He's going to fly to the secret islands full of treasures. Meanwhile, the fairies are arguing with each other over their failure. One says that it's the garden fairy's fault, while others believe that they shouldn't have shown mercy to Zarina at the start. The pirate gets so irritated by their noises that he puts in earplugs. Suddenly, the baby crocodile from the island reaches the ship to find his beloved animal fairy, but she is not in the mood for meeting anyone and asks him to go away. Luckily, the other fairies are still in their senses and realize that the crocodile can actually help them escape. The pirate's ears are closed so he does not hear anything, while the crocodile jumps inside the ship and rescues the little fairies. Afterward, the baby crocodile also knocks down the pirate who is keeping an eye on them. The fairies still cannot walk out of the ship because they may get noticed by the pirates. Therefore, they grab some clothes and shoes and act like they are a whole person. The pirates assume them as one of their members and do not stop them from walking away. Once they get out of sight, the fairies rush to get the blue dust. They were about to fly back to their kingdom, but James stopped them. He shows them the lantern and threatens to throw Zarina in the water if the fairies don't return the blue dust. Though this is all Zarina's fault, the fairies cannot let their friend die. They give back the blue dust and ask to let go of Zarina. James reactivates the dust tree and covers his ship with pixie dust. It starts to fly and carries all the pirates. Before leaving, James grabs the blue dust and puts it around his neck like a necklace. Though he has gotten everything he wanted, he still throws the lantern in the water. The fairies rush to save Zarina. Luckily, they open the lantern in time and pull out their friend. Zarina says thanks to the fairies and feels ashamed of her behavior. She's willing to help in saving the fairy kingdom and reveals that the pirates are heading towards the second star. Tinkerbell asks Zarina to be their captain and guide them in this journey. The pirates are flying high in the sky and increasing their speed with a constant supply of pixie dust. The fairies eventually spot them and divide the tasks. Zarina takes the responsibility of getting back the blue flame, while the rest of the fairies will take control of the ship and turn it backward. As soon as James sees the fairies, he orders his men to get rid of the fairies, even if they have to kill them. The fairies are not holding back either. They face the pirates in their own way and grab swords to fight. Despite being hardly 6 inches high, the fairies give the pirates a tough time. Meanwhile, Zarina raises her sword against the captain. James starts making fun of her, but he soon realizes how strong Zarina is. Suddenly, the light fairy gets an idea and reflects the sunlight through the spyglass. It turns into a hot laser and attacks the pirates. Once the pirates get away from the wheel, the fairies take over. The wind fairy uses her power to turn the ship and sail it in the opposite direction. The baby crocodile comes out too and helps the fairies in fighting the pirates. One by one, each pirate is thrown down in the water. The garden fairy grows giant seaweed out of the water and pulls down the anchor. When James realizes that the ship is changing direction, he gets really angry and takes charge. Firstly, he traps Zarina with his dagger and then cuts down a sail to stop the other fairies. Afterward, he gets on the wheel and turns it back towards the second star. Zarina frees herself and looks around to decide the next step. All the other fairies are still trapped, so Zarina has to handle this matter all by herself. She does not get scared and fights James single-handedly to get back the blue dust. Then she goes to rescue her friends and turn over the whole ship. All the pirates fall down in the water along with the pixie dust they collected. Zarina starts celebrating her success, but she's doing it too early. James has gotten showered in pixie dust and become able to fly. He takes back the blue dust and tries to change the direction of the ship once again. Zarina does not give up and snatches back the blue dust. James follows her again and eventually gets back the dust, but a little grain of it falls out. He assumes it worthless and asks Zarina to take the grain if she wants. Instead of getting angry, Zarina uses her brain and throws that little grain of blue dust towards James. He didn't know how powerful it was. The blue dust multiplies James's flying speed, and he gets totally out of control. The fairies are also free and get back on their mission. Tinkerbell uses her water-bending power to create a huge wave and drown all the pirates. All the pixie dust gets washed off from James's body, and he cannot fly anymore. His punishment does not end here, and the baby crocodile starts biting him. The fairies enjoy the scene and laugh heartily. Afterward, they get ready to go back home. Zarina gives the blue dust to her friends and asks them to take it back while she will find a new place to live. But Tinkerbell says that they didn't only come for the blue dust. They took all the risk to get back their friend. Zarina gets overwhelmed and accompanies the fairies. They get back to the kingdom where Clanky is still grinding ice for the winter fairies. Zarina uses her special dust to wake up everyone and tell them about their adventure. Zarina wants to apologize for all she did, but Tinkerbell stops her. Instead of mistakes, they should be talking about Zarina's achievements. Gary also gets really happy to know that Zarina can make different colored pixie dusts and even grew a new dust tree. The queen honors her too and promotes Zarina to a new position. She will no longer work as a dust keeper. Instead, she will perform on the stage and showcase her talent to the whole kingdom. We all make mistakes, but only the lucky one has supportive friends that help him improve and become a better person.